The last couple days have honestly been rough. And not just rough for African Americans in Minneapolis, but rough for all Americans. The death of George Floyd seemed to hit harder than so many other deaths that we've experienced. So many people are asking a lot of questions. Many people are doing a lot of talking. And what I wanted to do is share for a moment how to address people that have experienced trauma. Because as we start talking, as we start answering questions, the ones that are directly or indirectly affected are going to take to heart a lot of what is being said. And I don't want people to be misinterpreted just because of how they said something or when they said something. When you're talking to someone who has experienced a trauma, what you say, sure, is going to be important. However, something that's just as important is when you actually say those things. And I'll give you an example. The killing of George Floyd. If the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, well, all cops aren't bad. Let me tell you why that could be problematic. The statement itself is not problematic. All cops aren't bad. I know several cops, several people in law enforcement that are great people and do their job outstanding. But when that's the first thing that comes out your mouth, that can be extremely invalidating. And the trouble with it coming out first is now everything that you say after that is going to get filtered through that first sentence that you said. Maybe it doesn't even get heard at all. I think we've all probably had the experience of somebody saying something to us that we didn't want to hear initially and then shutting down. Maybe that person kept on talking, but we didn't hear any of it. Another unfortunately common trauma is a woman getting raped by a man. And if you are a man or if you're a woman and your first response to someone disclosing such sensitive information is, well, all men aren't bad. Once again, that can come off as extremely invalidating. The problem with leading with these types of statements is not just that you are invalidating that other person, but they also may not get the message that you're actually trying to send. If you are a man that is saying, well, all men aren't bad, that message might get totally misinterpreted if you're trying to talk about yourself. If you're trying to show that you care, if you're trying to show that you understand and want to help somebody, that message may get missed. So because the majority of the people that watch my videos are veterans, I want to use a veteran example. So a veteran tells you that they lost their best friend while they were in Iraq or Afghanistan. And the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, well, all Middle Eastern people aren't bad. Well, all Muslim people aren't bad. Well, some people that belong to ISIS are just trying to feed their families. These statements alone are not inherently bad or even untrue. However, leading with these statements can come across as invalidating, that you don't understand, and maybe even offensive. So if you can't use some of those statements, if you can't invalidate somebody off the bat, what do you say? My suggestion for you is to validate someone first. If someone discloses a trauma to you, which is already something that is extremely difficult, validating them first, saying something like, that sounds really tough. I don't even know what to say, but I just want to be here for you right now. I can imagine something like that happening to me. Those type of statements are going to not only validate somebody, but they're also going to open up someone to potentially be willing to hear what you're going to say next. Something to think about. If you found this video helpful, sure, like it, subscribe to my page if you want. But more important than that, if you found this video helpful, then that means it can probably be helpful to someone else. So before you do those things, I ask that you share it with someone else. Because at the end of the day, that's what all this is about. One veteran trying to help another.